All right, what's going on, everybody? It's 106.7 KROQ. We're at night number 2 of Almost Acoustic Christmas. I am Stryker. So happy to be joined by Chris Cornell. Welcome back to Acoustic Christmas, Chris.
Thank you. Thank you.
The last time I saw you at one of these, it was with Audio Slave.
Well, it was?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, at Gibson Amphitheater.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a long time ago.
So how are you, man?
I'm good. I'm good.
It's incredible. I mean, Soundgarden, Audio Slave, the solo records you put out. Is it all what you expected all these years, and it's still going, and I feel like stronger than ever?
I don't know. Yeah, it always, to me, something's always starting. So I guess in a way, it's like kind of an ongoing theme of the next thing is always starting. And I haven't looked back much, but at this point, the good thing is so it's great.
Are you someone that writes nonstop, or do you have to be in a certain work mode, like, I want to do an album in 9 months, let me get to it, or do you constantly do it?
It's both. I think there's a constant, songs kind of happen to me, but then there's also that moment of, I've got to really focus now, and I'm thinking specifically of a record, and then I go and kind of nose to the grindstone into the studio or into wherever and write it and make it. And then there's like one-offs, there's like writing a song for a movie, for example. Usually the opportunity to do that kind of comes when you're not planning for it, and so you kind of, wherever you are, I sort of do it. So it could be on the road.
And what about Nearly Forgot My Broken Heart, the inception of that song? Like, what was going on in your world when you wrote that?
Pretty sure I was on tour when that happened. I think I was on the Soundgarden tour, and I had the idea of what that title meant to me and what that song should be. It was sort of like a country song, and I had this image of a guy with a broken heart that meets someone new, but he wasn't really ever interested in it. He thought that was it for him. Love was over for him, and his life was broken. And now it's occurring to him that with this new person, he hasn't really thought about being miserable in a couple hours. He'd forgotten that his life has become horrible, and I just felt like that's something that speaks to everybody, because I think that happens to everybody at some point. We go through horrible down periods and up periods, and we're never 100% sort of aware or the architects of what makes that go up or down.
And last thing, and we'll talk about this just for a second, I've read that when it comes to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, it doesn't really interest you that much, but for fans, bands that we grew up with, bands that we still love, artists we love, like, we want these guys or girls to be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Like, when I watch the MTV Video Music Awards and only one band I like is on, I'm like, they better do awesome, which is why I really want you to be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I sort of have to look out over the big picture factor of, it's called the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So what are they going to do like 20 years from now? I almost feel like they're going to put everyone that's ever played rock music in it, because they like having a TV show and it makes money, and it's a thing they want to keep building. So
right.
To me, it's all fine, and I think it's great, and I think it matters to fans, and
yes.
Because of that, it matters to me. But I look at it like it's a gold watch, and I don't feel like it's gold watch time for me or any of my bands that I've been in, or any of the individuals that are in those bands.
Right. And now, really, this is the last thing. It's going to be two things. I know you dedicated a song recently to Weiland, to Scott Weiland. Just give me your first encounter ever with him. Do you recall that?
I think it was at something like this. Maybe it was the Grammys. It was an awards show, and he walked by, and I don't think I even spoke to him. And somebody said that's the guy from STP, and that was like my first encounter.
Nice.
And I think that's sort of what ends up happening, in the life of musicians and entertainers, is that sometimes we're sort of in organic atmospheres, like it's someone's house, mutual friends, but most of the time you run into people at crazy events where everyone's just kind of wondering how they fit into it anyway.
Right. Do you think your voice has changed at all over the last 15, 20 years?
I think it's changed.
It was always the best voice to me, and it's still great, but has it changed in your ears?
I think it's changed in the last 20 minutes. I flew from I finished an Australian tour hours ago, and got off the plane and then slept, and then I just woke up like 2 hours. So it's changing as we speak.
I hate you. You wake up and look like this. You look perfect. F you,
thank you.
Cornell. Damn
Thank
it, you,
you.
Chris Cornell. Soundgarden, Audio Slave, the solo stuff. He is Chris Cornell, everybody. And
Thank you.
Thank you so much for doing this, Chris.
Oh, my pleasure.
And thanks
It's
for
gonna be
chatting.
fun.
It's going to be a great night here. It's night number 2 of the KROQ Almost Acoustic Christmas.